Hello, fight fans. This is Coach Nathan of NS Champ 7 Part Boxing Series at nschamp7.com with a preview of the long-awaited, highly anticipated World Welterweight Showdown between the two top dogs of the division. And that's Terrance "Bud" Crawford, who's 39 wins, 0 defeats with 30 knockouts, against unified champion Errol Spence Jr., who's 28 wins, 0 defeats with 22 knockouts. And this fight will be going down in Las Vegas, Nevada, and will be televised live on Showtime Pay-Per-View. Okay, first off, I have to deal with that the outbreak at that last press conference. So here goes. Hopefully in the future, security or the moderator should ban or at least try to police the out-of-control behavior that popped up at that press conference, instead of doing nothing until it gets worse. These press conferences were originally designed to increase the fan base, introduce the fight and the fighters to new fans, new advertisers, to put more butts in the seats to witness these two great fighters. Instead, we hear these loudmouth, coon-babbling, ghetto ASS family members drowning out the fighters as they try to answer media questions, and then instigate the trainers to do the same thing, go at one another, who first they tried to quiet both sides, but to no avail. Now this reminds me of, and I know I'm not the only person out here who's experienced this, but growing up back in the day in the hood, there was always guys who had the biggest mouths, talk the most shit, either won't fight or can't fight when they're forced. That's why we pay to see the fighters, not trash talkers, the fighters. Also, if this stuff is not policed because some say the fans like this kind of stuff, well, somewhere down the line, somebody's going to get seriously hurt because, as we know, there are those out there who not only talk the talk, but will walk the walk, causing someone to get seriously hurt in that parking lot. And this would definitely lead to losing any new fan base or advertisers because people get hurt, drive the fans away. Numerous comparisons have been made of this being an old school style fight. Well, maybe it's time to show some old school class as well. And we notice this ain't happening in professional basketball or football. Now, as for the fight and the fighters, both have outstanding corners, both outstanding trainers. Both fighters have taken long, tough roads to get where they are today. Both have beaten multiple world champions to get here as well. And both men have had stellar amateur careers, as Spence was a 4-time national champion and 2012 Olympian, and Crawford was a 3-time national champion. That's why whoever wins, whoever comes out victorious, should be hands down #1 pound-for-pound champion in this modern day's era and for a while to come. I've always said that Terrance Crawford reminds me of a modern day Sugar Ray Leonard because, like Ray, he's slick, fast, and can punch. He can also switch hits, something Leonard couldn't do. He's a precise counterpuncher, and he's going to need it because Errol Spence, who I think will fight reminiscent of the great Marvelous Marvin Hagler, will be applying relentless pressure and throwing hard combinations, particularly to the body, looking to overpower Crawford. Now, this is what Spence worked on in training camp when he prepared for and eventually stopped Yordenis Ugas in the 10th round of their match in April of last year. He made it, for the most part, trench warfare, which can break a fighter down if he's not prepared or you have no punching power to keep your opponent off of you. And witnessing his preparation for this fight, he's looking to do the same thing here as well. That's why at times Spence will do 2 or 3 rounds at a time, either on the mitts, shadow boxing, the heavy bag, or sparring, throwing hard combinations without taking a rest break. That's also why he repeatedly says, "I'm going to break as well." However, if Crawford can display the same sneaky, accurate punching power that caused him to stop every welterweight he's faced since moving up from the junior welterweight division, and that's 7 guys thus far, and if he can remain calm under fire, and can display a durable chin, he will win this fight. Now, I know that's a lot of ifs. That's why these guys are pretty much evenly matched. Another intriguing factor is that both men have gotten out of position at times defensively against their opponents and have gotten hit either by leaning or lunging forward or dropping their hands. Now, this is only occasionally because that's why they're still undefeated, and that's why both men are still elite fighters. Now, all of this combined with their superb offensive skills is going to make this, I believe, be a prime candidate for Fight of the Year and definitely worth the price of admission, whether ringside or pay-per-view. Now, as far as my pick as to as the winner, I give a slight edge to Bud Crawford because if Spence is true to his word to break his man down like he did against Ugas, he's going to get hit like he did against Ugas. And it is crystal clear that Terrance Bud Crawford is a much harder puncher than Yordenis Ugas. So that's why I give a slight edge to Crawford in this one. Now on the undercard will be the return of Esau Pitbull Cruz, who's 24 wins, 2 defeats with 17 knockouts. Now Cruz proved to be a tough matchup against Tank Davis a year and a half ago. And since he has had 2 knockout wins up to this point, and he will be facing undefeated Giovanni Cabrera, who's 20 wins, 0 defeats, but only 7 knockouts. So the obvious question is, will he have enough punching power to keep the ever-charging Cruz at bay or to stop him? This fight is also a WBC title eliminator, meaning the winner supposedly gets a crack at challenging undisputed champ Devin the Dream Haney in the not-too-distant future. Now, that's, of course, if Haney stays at that weight because it's rumored and there's a lot of buzz about him moving up to the 140-pound division. So that's my take on the situation, folks. But don't forget, for elite boxing instruction, elite boxing analysis, and elite boxing philosophy, click that like button and subscribe to NS Champ 7-part boxing series at NSChamp7.com. Enjoy the fights.